everybody, welcome to CricTracker show in the air with me, Nivedna Prabhu. We're of course talking about the WTC final, and it is the day 3. So of course we're going to be talking about everything that is in store for both the teams, and ultimately, of course, the decision about who is going to be lifting the championship title. But more than that, what are the predictions? What can be expected from both the teams? What is day 3 looking like? What are the factors that could really add value to the game? Well, to find out all of that and much more, I'm going to be having our special guests on the show. For starters, let me call Rakesh, who is a cricket analyst as well as a cricket coach. Rakesh, great to have you back on the show to see where we were just probably 24 hours back and to be looking at it right now. What do you, for starters, what are you expecting for day 3?
See, I think after the first session in yesterday's game, I think India have done a tremendous job. Virat Kohli, the captain, have played really well. So this day is going to be very crucial for India, or it may be for England, because the ball is 65th over old, and after 15 overs, we might see the new. I mean, we might see the new ball. So this partnership between Rahane, vice captain Rahane, and Virat Kohli is going to be very crucial for India. When we talk about New Zealand, after getting two or three quick wickets in the first session and sending both the openers of Indian team back, after that they got Trent Bolt got Pujara out, but after that they didn't get the wicket or break the partnership between the captain and the vice captain. So that is something that they'll be really looking forward in the first 1 hour of today's game. But whereas Kohli, here I would like to talk a little bit about Kohli. I mean, the way he has adopted the situation, it was wonderful, because a great player is a player who can really adopt the situation and play according to the situation. We have
Right.
seen a great batting display from Virat Kohli in yesterday's game. So, crucial partnership between Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane. That is going to be crucial for India, and for New Zealand, they'll be looking forward to break this
Getting
partnership
some
between
results.
captain and vice
Right.
captain.
We'll of course be talking in detail about Kohli's and Rahani's performance and get more insights about what Rakesh has to think in terms of course, their stats as well, especially in England. But let me call on our second guest, Oman cricketer Sufyan Mahmood, who's also joining us on the show. He, of course, did make some fabulous predictions yesterday, which were true, which is why we say we always get the best on our show. So, Sufyan, coming back to you, looking at what is expected for day 3, how would you want to sum it up?
Hi Nivedna, hello everyone, to all the guests as well. Yeah, I think rightly said by Rakesh. India's point of view, they would love to extend this partnership and go for a bigger score. Of course, with the coming new bat with the morning condition, it won't be easy, of course, but and of course the overcast conditions. But now that Kohli and Rane said, they should make sure that they get past the first 1.5 hour and then they're back. Talking about New Zealand's point of view, I think as Rakesh said, after 15 overs, they might get after 90 overs, they will get the new ball. They will have the plan to take early wickets when the game starts now, because both of the batsmen are coming fresh. And yesterday they were all set and momentum was set, but now again it's a new day.
Right.
They will make sure they will try to take early wickets and get through the Indian lineup. That will be the plan for New Zealand.
Okay, and of course, to find out from our next guest as well, Gaurav, as to what he thinks would probably be the strategy for both the teams, let's call him on. He's a content creator as well as a reporter. Gaurav, great to have you back on the show. What are you expecting from day 3?
Yeah, hi Nivedna, hi everyone. First of all, I think India should be the happy of the two sides going at stumps on day 2, because the conditions were overcast. The bowlers were doing a fabulous job. The Red Duke's ball was swinging, and in spite of that, India managed to score 146 for the loss of just 3 wickets. Obviously, Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma, and even Cheteshwar Pujara for that matter, they would have liked to play a long knock, but I think India still have done a tremendous job, as said by two of our experts. Going into the day 3, I think it's going to be very crucial for both the teams, because Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane, both the batsmen have got their eyes in, and they need to convert this start into a big score. At least one of them should reach the three-figure mark, what I feel. Because in such conditions, coming for a new batsman and settling is never easy. within just 15 overs, a new ball will be available, and we don't want the new ball to be faced by someone like Ravindra Jadeja or even Rishabh Pant for that matter. These two are very good batsmen, but I will not want them to face the new ball because it can really exploit the Indian tail. In such conditions, India are in a definitely a very good position, 146 for 3. But we have seen in England, we have seen in that women's test between India and England that wickets fall in England in tandem. If one comes, many more are going to follow. So I think it's going to be a very crucial day, and both the teams should buckle up. They can't afford to put a foot wrong.
Right. So I think on one hand, of course, like all the experts said, that the partnership is pretty much really crucial going into this session now. But on the other hand, it's not like Kane Williamson and his boys were not looking for a strategy to get them out, right? So that's going to be another. But before I get into that, the update coming in is that there is drizzle and the covers are on, something that we probably should have expected. Let's take a look at the weather forecast for day 3. I'll come to you, Rakesh, on that. We look at this, cloudy, cloudy. There's chances of rain, and again, then to the later half, of course, again it's cloudy. So, when you look at this and going into the game, what does it really mean? Like, are you of the opinion that this could also hamper the momentum once, how do you view that as a cricket analyst?
See, looking at the weather, yes, this is what we have been expected, and yes, talking about the momentum, because I mean the day is going to be changed, so that there itself also momentum will be broken. But with moreover, the weather is also going to be changed, so obviously it might slightly give an extra advantage to New Zealand. But Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane, both of them have a lot of experience. They have already played in England, and they have good, I mean, decent average in England, and they both have half centuries in this particular ground in the previous tours. So I think
Yeah.
they can still handle that. Just previously, I just mentioned the way they both of them adopted. That is the crucial thing, because adoption is very important, and they both the players, not just both. Even if you look at Rohit Sharma or Shubman Gill, both of they were leaving the balls in a nice way where they know they're off stump. I think that might slightly break the momentum, but with the way they have done on the day two, I think they can still manage. It doesn't matter whether it rains or whether it's going to be wet, whether the ball swings. Because if you look at the swing, I think this is the, I mean, this is the highest swing that the New Zealand cricket bowlers are getting in the recent past. So when, like yesterday, how Sufyan was mentioning, when there is a lot of swing, it doesn't really trouble the batsman. When there is less swing, the bowler batsman will have to struggle. If you look at the ball yesterday, how the ball was swinging, it was swinging a lot. It was bouncing. There was nice carry into the keeper's hand. But putting all those aside, I think both Virat and Rahane will be looking forward to handle the situations in a positive way.
Of course, talking about Kohli and Rahane, of course, let's take a look at their stats in England innings so that, we could also get both our experts to be talking about how they've, of course, performed in terms of, in terms of their innings, whether we're looking at runs for Virat Kohli, it's 771 with an average of 38.55. Gaurav, I'll come to you about Kohli's innings, and I'll go to Sufyan about Ajinkya's. How do you look at that in terms of innings, of course, 21 runs, 771, an average 38.55 with 200s and 350s.
I think that average 38.55 really doesn't display what Virat Kohli is. The thing was in the 2014 tour, he had a very terrible tour. If I remember the numbers, he had 134 runs in 5 matches, which were like way below Virat Kohli standards. But he brilliantly bounced back in the 2018 tour, and I think the 593 runs he got in that tour. He had a couple of hundreds and a score of 97 as well. So I think if New Zealand bowlers are thinking that an average of 38.55 is mediocre for someone like Virat Kohli, they should not do that because it doesn't display what Virat Kohli, a cricketer, is now. So I think he would be confident with his performance in the previous two, and like that, he has got a start. He's on 44, and he would like to get as many runs as possible in this innings.
And I think everyone's waiting for that 200 to become 3. spoken about this before as well. I'll come to you, Sufyan, about Ajinkya Rahane in Tests in England. Of course, innings 21, runs 585, average 30.78, 100 and 450s.
Yeah, I think rightly said, Jinkar Rane is someone who is better than this average. But considering that this is average in England with other batsmen like Pujara, you know how valuable he is in Test, but in England he has not been able to score runs. Considering
Yeah.
that his Rane's average is decent in England, but he's much better. He's much capable than this. What I feel. And of course, with the what I when I whenever I see the stats, I generally say I don't believe in stats. It's your when it's your day, it's your day. You always every day is a new day. So I hope today
Gaurav is so
Rahane can
disappointed.
capitalize.
No, no, never.
I'm just saying that Rahane now this got his start. I hope that he converts it to a big score because this is the time when his runs matter. If he gets to win this match for his team, people will remember it for a longer time. So keep out all the stats and all the records. This is the time where he has to score a big ton or something to get his side on the other side, and then everyone will remember that, of course.
Okay. So on that note, of course, you've spoken about Cody and Rahani, but for everybody who's tuned in, if you have any questions to ask Rakesh, Sufyan, or Gaurav as well, use the hashtag #AskCricTracker, and they'd be more than happy to be answering it. It doesn't have to be related to World Test Championship final. If you also need tips and tricks, just in general to improve your game as well, send it across. They'll be more than happy to answer it. Rakesh, coming back to you about the bowling attack, what is the strategy? We spoke about this yesterday as well, and you did speak about Neil Wagner. What do you think is going to be the strategy going in today for the next session?
See, the strategy would be, I think, as we were speaking about New Zealand's team performance and their mantra on the first day where the day got cancelled. I think they'll still stick to their plan. That is going to really help because you don't need to change too many plans. You just have to stick the plans because this is a game between ball and bat. Sometimes the ball wins, sometimes the bat wins. Right now, both the captain and vice captain of Indian team, they are really playing really well. But I think New Zealand will just stick to their basic things like basic plan, and maybe they'll just try to make the batsman just try to find the ball and play and stretch and play. That is something which the bowlers might do that in today's play. If you look at Kyle Jamieson yesterday, he was really bowling well. He was making the batsman to find the ball and play. I think that will be the strategy even today's game because Virat Kohli is someone who tries to play more often on the front foot. So when you are playing very well with your strength, sometimes if there is some niggle or something, you're going to make a mistake. So I think New Zealand will stick to their plan. They won't change their plan because that is their success mantra from last 2 3 seasons.
Okay, and Gaurav, would you be of the similar opinion to Rakesh, or do you think there's something else? Because you, of course, were talking about Trent Bolt a lot, and you did say that at the end of the day, he might be the key player going into this session. So, how do you view that?
Oh, definitely, I agree with Rakesh. I mean, Kane Williamson, he's a cool head. He doesn't need to think out of the blue. He doesn't need to make a strategy which is like completely surprising. The ball is swinging around. The conditions are overcast. So if the ball is swinging, no batsman in the world is comfortable. I'm again repeating it because you can play pace, you can play bounce, but if the ball is swinging, the batsman will always be uncertain. And for that matter, New Zealand have the likes of Tim Southee and Trent Bolt. Trent Bolt again, I think he'll be a handy customer on the second day if the conditions are more cloudy because he's a left-arm pacer. He's a knack of bringing the ball into the right-handed batsman, and he would like to exploit that corridor of uncertainty. He will constantly trouble the Indian batsman outside the off stump, and we just saw yesterday that how he bowled a massive in swinger, and Chiteshwar Pujara had to walk back. So I think both Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane, regardless of how they are set, regardless of how they have understood the conditions, if they are facing Trent Bolt, especially Trent Bolt, they need to be, they can't afford to put a foot wrong. And facing Trent Bolt might decide the fate of this encounter.
Okay, let's take a look at the scorecard of where Team India, of course, finished yesterday. Sufyan, I'll come to you on this. Of course, 146 for three in 64.4 overs. What kind of a target are you looking at going into the next session? Rather than target, what do you think is going to be an okay number that we might expect in terms of wickets?
I think, as I said yesterday also, that runs will come slowly. They will not come fast, of course, because the conditions are in favor of bowling.
Rakesh, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, Rakesh. So I'll come to you on this particular thing. Of course, this is the men's match that we're talking about, the World Test Championship final. I actually wanted to have your viewpoint on another very interesting series that is happening. Is of
Yeah.
course the women's Test cricket. The way we're looking at it, the way of course we have whether we're talking about Shafali Verma, we're talking about Sneha Rana. We did have this discussion yesterday, but we definitely want to get your viewpoint on
Yeah.
just test cricket for women in general, what the future looks like, because you're also a cricket coach. So I want to know from that perspective, when series like this happen, how much more inspirational is it for probably even young girls to be taking up,
Yes.
cricket as a career sometime in the future?
So I think women's cricket has come up in a big way, because the discussion what we are doing about women's cricket during the men's cricket match, that itself shows how much craze that women's cricket has got in the recent past, and the way
Right.
the young girl Shefali Verma, let it be Shefali Verma, Smriti Mandana, and the newcomer Rana, who took 4 wickets and scored a fighting 50 in the third innings. I think Indian women players are really playing very well, and they are being inspirational to a lot of girls who really want to take this sport as their career. And we have been seeing how BCCA is also giving the contracts for the players. So that is a very encouraging thing what BCCA is doing. Yes, it might be less compared to the men's cricket, because it all depends on the revenue and all. But putting that
Right.
aside, I think the women's cricket has come up really a long way. The senior players like Julan Goswami, who is close to 40 years old, Mithali Raj, who is close to 40 years old, they are still playing. They are giving their, experience, and they're being inspirational to the youngsters who are ready to take up this. I think women's cricket has grown up not just in India. Let it be England, let it be Australia, let it be New Zealand, South Africa, West Indies, all the women cricketers around this, whatever the nations we have mentioned, they are really playing very well. And in fact, I think at one point of time, Smriti Mandana and all these girls have faced Mohammad Shami's bowling also in the nets. So that itself
Yeah.
shows how the cricket among women have come up. I think whatever the discussion, we are just doing it in bits and pieces about women's cricket right now. I think after a couple of years, or maybe within a year, I think many shows will be coming and many people will be discussing about women's cricket, like how we are discussing about the men's cricket.
Right, because I think it's also the platform, the quality of tournaments that they are getting, and I think at the end of the day, if it is about purely about the game, and I think the way the young girls, of course, have been performing, it makes the game so much more exciting. But more than that, it inspires so many more people to take up this sport as a career. Like, because Rakesh is, of course, a cricket coach as well. I'm pretty sure he does know of stories where when certain players do well, it kind of inspires a lot of children. They look up to them, which is a wonderful way, because there's nothing more beautiful than sport bringing everybody together. But on that note, I would like to, yeah, Rakesh.
I would like to add a small story, because as the weather is also not in favor of the game, because I know a girl, I used to coach a boy who generally, because this will be an inspirational thing for the girls who are watching or the parents who are watching as well. I used to coach a kid who was 12, 13 years old, and I coached him till 16, 17, and then he all of a sudden he stopped the game. But while this kid was coming for the coaching sessions, his elder sister used to come. She was not at all liking the cricket. But I went to US, and then I recently came to India, and I just went to one of the cricket academies, and I saw this girl doing really well. And I was surprised, and I called that guy and asked, "Is she your sister who is playing?" And then that guy said, "Yes, she is playing." Within 2 years of span, she has improved her skill. She's bowling tremendously well. She's playing with the boys, and now she doesn't sleep without watching cricket, or without just eat, sleep, and do what that thing we listen, right? Eat cricket, sleep cricket, read cricket, everything. So he
Yeah.
is like that. So that shows how much craze that cricket has got in girls.
So I think we're probably looking at probably another Indian star in the making if everything goes well. But I have a quick update for all of you. The umpires have confirmed the next inspection would be at 10:20 a.m. That is according to, of course, England time, local time. But in India, it's going to be 2:50 when that inspection happens. So it just means that, of course, the weather is once again played spoil sport. But this is, of course, the kind of our experts have given you the predictions, or rather what they really think is going to pan out in day three. We will, of course, be joining all of you and giving you regular updates about the World Test Championship final. So stay tuned. But I want to thank all our guests for joining us on the show once again. And we will see you until then. Stay tuned to Crick Tracker for the latest news in the world of cricket.